Welcome, I'm Eleanor Burns. I will never forget the magic of Christmas, 1955, when my mother gave me my very first sewing machine. Well, I had to clamp it to the table, hand crank it, and constantly pick out the bobbin threads. But nonetheless, it was wonderful. I wish every mother and child shared the joy of sewing as my mother and I did. Well, I wrote the single Irish chain for children and beginners of all ages. The time I spent with Orion, my son, who was 10 at the time, sewing the single Irish chain was priceless. Well, 20 years later, we still treasure this baby-size Irish chain quilt. The solid squares are polyester, printed with tiny pink roses. Well, the fabric is still in great shape, but the navy cotton chain fabric has faded considerably. Well, children are never too young to start sewing. My granddaughter Ellie is 2.5 years old, and she is so happy sewing. I just give her strips to sew. Nothing needs to match, but you can see how delighted she is. Well, this is her first quilt, and I will treasure it forever. I'm calling it an art quilt because of the extra dimension she added. It's just so cute. Well, I have tips and tricks to share. Let's get started. This is my friend Daniella. Thank you for coming today. So how old are you?
7 years old.
Wow, have you ever made a quilt before?
No, I did not.
This is going to be exciting for you today. So she already worked on her fabric. I really like what you picked. You have little flowers for the background and the red for the chain, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Well, I already fixed my ruler because I'm going to do the cutting. How about you do the sewing and I do the cutting?
Okay.
I put some glow line tape on my ruler to cut my strips. I put my glow line tape at 3 3/4 inches. See, there's 3, there's 3/4. So I'm going to cut the strips. I have the background fabric and the chain fabric, and I'm just going to layer cut it. Oh, Daniella, I'm going to do this quick. So just line up the glow line tape right along the edge, and I have my rotary cutter. Open it and just cut right across. And now you get a job. Take the scissors and cut it in half on the fold. And so I'm just going to keep on cutting across here. You can layer cut. You need to have 4 backgrounds and 5 chains. So if you layer cut, you can do it so fast. And then cut every single one on the fold. Well, look at this, Daniella. I'm going to have an extra little piece of fabric. This is what I do when I have extra. I get rid of it. That's pretty cool, huh? Does your mom allow you to throw your fabric? And I just have one more piece to cut, and that's the 5 of the chain, and that's for you to get good. You're doing really good. Well, now our strips are all cut, and I'm just going to take them and get them all organized. Look right up here. We have section 1, and this is for the red, background red, section 1. That's what you're going to sew first. And then we have section 2. It's background, red, background. So let's just grab these up and get them ready. So how do you put these now? You put them right sides together. Can you get them all lined up? Perfect. So now Daniella has a couple of special features on her machine that she can use. First of all, you have a 1/4 inch foot, and I put a little piece of moleskin, so see how it helps guide it? That's perfect. Or if you want, you can use a piece of Post-it and just see if you can tack that down. Just push it down hard. Perfect. Okay, now it's just like a computer here, Daniella. Let's take and push the button for the presser foot. Down, good. Now press the needle down. Great. And now this extra special thing, when I sew, of course I use my foot pedal, but this time I took my foot pedal out so that you just use the start-stop button. It's easy. It's green for go. So get it started and you can adjust your speed. Let's see, and keep the edges all lined up. If it doesn't stay lined up, then you just go ahead and stop your machine. There is a speed adjustment on here. She can go faster or slower. Okay, how about stop now, Daniella? Because see, we want to get these edges all lined up. Get them all open, lined up so they go clear to the bottom. Okay, pedal to the metal. You can push go. Well, her mother, Martha, just really learned how to sew recently, and your mom is making so many great quilts. Are you watching her make the quilts?
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, you are going to be making your own quilt. We're going to make a lap robe with 15 blocks. You're nearly down to the end. Looking good. Now, see, you don't focus on the needle. You just make sure your fabric edges are together. Perfect. Well, I'm going to take this first set and I get to press it for you. I get all the hard jobs. You get the fun jobs. Huh? So all I'm going to do is just take it like this, set the seam, and then I'm just going to open. I don't want any folds in this. You want this to be perfect, right, Daniella?
Yes, I do.
Yes, you do. All right. This is the first section. And so now let's just take this and take a red and line it up. It's going to go on the other side like this. Line it up. Now put it under your presser foot down, needle down, and go. While she finishes that, I'm going to go on and get these ready. This is section 2. It's the background, the chain, and the background. We're going to sew all of our strips together and we'll show you how to make the blocks. You are doing so good. High five. Look at all the strips we've sewn, huh? Well, this is section 1, and this is for this part right here. This is section 2. That's for this part right there. And all of the seams are all pressed towards the chain. I did that, huh? That was easy, though. Well, Daniella, what we want to do is sew this seam right now. So we're going to make it easy. We're going to take these 2 pieces. I'm going to flip section 2 onto section 1, and I'm just going to line up those seams and get them all matched. And just wiggle them. Can you help me wiggle on that end? And see, lock them all together so they're all matched. This is perfect. Okay, now I'm just going to take the ruler and right on this end, I'm going to lay it straight. I'm just going to straighten this edge and trim it off. Okay, that's for you to get rid of. That's your job. Now I'm going to just take the 3 3/4 inches, line it up on that freshly cut edge, and cut a pair. So that is all ready to sew. So let's just take this, Danielle, and get it all lined up under your sewing machine. Put the presser foot down, needle down, start button. See, this is a really cool computerized machine, huh? Okay, go ahead. And just sew it down. Make sure you keep all of the edges all lined up. Oh, adjust your speed. Perfect. And hold that down. That seam, hold that seam down flat. You'll do a really good job. Well, I'm going to continue cutting pairs. For section 1, I need to cut a total of 16 of these. Actually, I'm just going to keep on layer cutting this, and then I'll cut that strip up. So I have a total of 16. Of section 2, which is on the top, I need 8. We are going to make 8 blocks right now, Daniella. Oh, you are doing good. Keep on going. You're almost catching up with me. I better move along faster. Look at this. I only can get one more pair out of this. And this is extra. You could save this for another quilt, but I'm going to get rid of that. So those are our pairs, and just stack those up like this. Like to close my cutter. Perfect. Now open it up and see if they match. That's going to be, oh, look at that. Are you excited? They're perfect. Okay, now this is the second, section 1. All I want to do is just square off these ends and then continue cutting this so that we'll have all 8 blocks done. Line it up in the end straighten, get rid of it, cut 1 3 3/4 inch so you can keep on going. Okay, now that you have these two done, this is the next piece. You're going to get it like this, get those all lined up, flip them right sides together. Perfect. And see if you can sew that all along. You're the master at this. My goodness. Well, while Daniella sews the block together, I'm going to measure one that we finished a little earlier because the block number 2 is based on the size of this one. So let's just see. Look at this. Okay, this way it's 10 1/8. Oh, are we lucky, Daniella? It's 10 1/8 this way as well. So I'm going to cut up block number 2 from my background fabric into 10 1/8 inch squares. We're making 7 block 2s. I'm just going to fold it like this. The 12 1/2 inch square up ruler is the perfect ruler to use at this time. Lining up 10 1/8 along here, cutting strips, and then once you have the strips done, just open it and trim off the salvage edge. Just line it up right along this edge. You should get 4 10 1/8 inch squares out of this. This is extra, and then cut 1 10 1/8 and keep on going. So this is the same size as the block. We're going to check. So let's see, Daniella. Ooh, looks good. So now let's just see. Perfect. Now all you have to do is make 7 more, just like this one. We are ready, Freddy. We can sew this together now. So our blocks are all done. We have 8 of the chain block and just 7 of the solid square. And look at this, Daniella. Look how good that matches on the back side. Everything's just pressed right away from the center. You did good matches on the front side. I'm impressed. So now we're going to lay out our blocks, and we're going to lay out 3 across and 5 down, okay? So we're going to do a checkerboard, like first this one, second this one, and then just put this block right in that position. Just slide it up there. Okay, that's looking good. Now, if we put this one in the middle, what goes right there? This is like magic when you start to see your quilt go together, huh? Looks great. And you can really see that chain. Okay, let's see if you know where to put this one. This is your test, Daniella. Perfect. Okay, and so now we need to have this one right here, and we need to have another one right down here, and we could keep on going if our table were bigger. But now we're going to just sew rows together. So I'm going to take this and keep it on the bottom, flip it right sides together, and now this is your challenge. See if you can line it up and match it perfect. Okay, just slip it under your machine. You already know all the ropes, huh? You've got it perfect. I think that moleskin really helps. Needle down, and now you can just take off that start, stop, perfect. You're doing good. So what grade are you in, Daniella?
First grade.
First grade, oh my gosh, and you're making a quilt. So what do you like to do at school?
Play.
Play, you're supposed to be studying. Do you like to read?
Yeah.
You like to read. That's a good thing because I like to read too. I really enjoyed that. When I was in school, I was really good in arithmetic. So how do you do in arithmetic?
We don't study though.
Oh, you don't, because it's really important when you make quilts, huh? Well, you're just zooming right down there. You have the edges all lined up. That is great. Okay, nearly down at the end. And just, let's see, cut your threads. And your foot will just go up automatically. Okay, lift it up. This is just a great machine, huh? So now, let's take a look. They're the same size, and we are just going to press the seam so that it goes right behind the chain block. That's good. Now you just have to add one more piece right along here. Get it all lined up. Well, when we're done with this row, we're just going to keep on sewing the other rows together, and then we're going to make it into one big top. We're going to have 3 across, 5 down. Perfect. I already have the borders laid out. The first border is the background, 2.5 inches wide, and then we're going to finish up with a very wide chain. It's 5.5 inches. So we have some work to do, but we're getting this top together. We have been working so hard that now we're getting hungry.
Pizza!
Well, let's just get this turned and we can have pizza. Well, this is what we did. We sewed the whole top together, added the first border, that was the 2.5 inch background, and then the second border, the 5.5 inch. And then we took the whole quilt, laid it out on top of the backing, which is right side up, and the batting underneath. Then we pinned it and we sewed the whole way around the outside edge, but we left this opening right here to turn the whole quilt through. Do you think we can get that through that hole? It's gonna be tough. Well, I have just a little bit of backing and batting, and I'm just trimming it right up to the edge like this. Oh, you need a big pair of scissors. You have to be strong, huh, Daniella, to cut through this batting. This is going to be the coziest, warmest quilt for you. There you go. It's all yours. Now, so the batting doesn't pull away from the outside edge. The best thing is to take a hand sewing needle and some thread and just take some big old stitches right along in the seam allowance. Trust me, it doesn't have to be neat. It's just to keep the batting to the outside edge. So I'm just going to stop right here, knot off my thread, and then we're going to do some rolling. Ooh, this is going to be fun. All right, that's good. Now, clip the thread. Let's see what kind of a team we are. This is what I want you to do. Go over there in the corner. I'm going to start right here in this corner, and I'm going to roll very tight. Tight. Oh, that's good. That's good. And now you can pick up a little speed, sort of like rolling a snowball, huh? So see if you can just start rolling this. This is good. And keep on rolling the whole way down that side. And I'm going to do a little bit of swinging around here. This is going to be the miracle because we've got a pretty big quilt. I'm going to start here. Hold on. And I don't know about you, Daniella. If you can hold that and this too, that's good, because now I'm going to just pick up this corner. This is something for the whole family to do. We should have had your mom helping us. Would have been a lot better, huh? A lot easier. Maybe even your cousin. Are you going to use the scraps and make your cousin a quilt?
Yes.
Oh, she is going to really like it. Okay, now we're getting it over here. Let's just go blump, blump, blump. Okay, now I'm going to open up this hole, and let's see if we can just kind of stuff all of this right through the hole. This is the hard part. Oop, I lost it over here. Let's push. It's kind of like just turning it right side out. Oh, you're going to use your head, huh? Is that the easiest way? Oh, my goodness. This is called birthing. This is really tough, huh? Did you ever give birth before?
No.
This is the first time, huh? Well, look, we're just about through. So now you get to unroll it. Just take it, unroll it, pull it out. Oh, this is looking good. Okay, give it a pull. We've got the beautiful blue on the back. The quilt is on the front side. Okay, just keep on rolling. Pull that all out. Now, this is actually a quilt that we're going to do without binding. You don't have to put any binding on it. It's nearly done. Get everything pulled. Are you getting tired, girl?
Yes, I am.
Well, we're going to have pizza in just a minute. Okay, I've got this corner out pretty good. Okay, roll those corners out. Pull them out as best as you can. And maybe we're going to have to send you in the middle, Daniella, to get it open, huh? Okay, let's just take it and find this fold right here. Do a little shaking this way. It's looking good. You ready to turn it over? This is the amazing part. Ooh, look at that. Okay, now I want you to take hold of those two corners and you pull your way and I'm going to pull my way. Ready? You hold on. Pull, pull. Okay, that's good. Oh, you're strong, girl. Looking good. Okay, we just have a little bit more to to pull out the corners. Oh, I'm working on this corner. It's getting good. But let's smooth it out because we're going to do some tying. Which color would you like? What color?
Green.
Green. How amazing. We have green ready. Okay, you come over here, Daniella, because we're going to put a square knot in the center of each one of these squares. Okay, I have a curved needle. This is going to make it really nice and easy to do. You take your needle like this, and you go and you take a little curve, and you come out. Oh, this is good. And you pull it through, and we better leave a little bit of a knot, little bit of an end. Go to the next one, pull it through. This is good. This is like pearl cotton. I really like the green color. And this, just pull this one through there. Finally. And what I'm doing is just assembly line tying. I'm just going from one to the next. Now, let's see. I'm going to take my scissors and just cut right in between. Cut, leave a long piece. Now, this is going to be a trick. Have you ever made a square knot before?
No.
Well, do you want to learn? All right. Well, let's just take these pieces and go piece over the right, over the left, and I'm just going to pull it tight like that. And then I'm just going to go right over the left like this and pull it tight. And then I'm just going to snip it off. And that's all we have to do. So we have to tie this whole quilt, and then it's pizza. Ruth E. Finley wrote Old Patchwork Quilts and the Women Who Made Them in 1929. Well, she described the quilt as the renowned Irish chain, the most universally known quilt pattern. She said thousands of these quilts have been made. Every patchwork enthusiast has pieced at least one. Well, Ruby McKim, my favorite author from the 1930s, referred to the Irish chain in her 1932 book, 101 Patchwork Patterns, as coveted. Well, I covet this simply beautiful single Irish chain. It's only two colors, magnificent in muslin and yellow. Well, the two fabrics are repeated in the elegant border. It's double bed size and truly a classic. And the quilting from the back side is just phenomenal. Love it. What a treasure. Well, we go from traditional to big and bold. Well, I made this scrappy quilt using my scraps and fat quarters from one background fabric. Well, scraps are carried into the colorful Seminole. I used two different border fabrics, the green and pink, to finish off. You know, I love the way Sandy Thompson quilted it with variegated thread in an overall pattern. And on the back, waste not, want not, because I used up every single little scrap in it. You know, my sons love this one. They're fighting over it. I think they like the bright colors. Very comfy to snuggle in. Well, the fabric carries this easy pattern, the fancy with a medium paisley background and eggshell blocks, very rich looking. Well, the diagonal quilting lines were done on a conventional sewing machine with a walking foot. Simple, but very sophisticated. Feels great, it's been laundered. Well, it's easy to whip up a single Irish chain for a specific holiday. I made this one for the 4th of July. I fussy cut the solid squares out of a patriotic fabric, and then the flag boutique looks like a very old-fashioned block. The blocks have a plain background matching the bouquet. The bright red chain just jumps out at you. And the yellow folded border and striped fabric mitered in the corners is a perfect finish. Well, this is a darling child's quilt. It's cozy and flannel. It's a large-scale print of yellow duckies floating about. Well, the turquoise background just sets off the yellow duckies and the bright yellow chain. As Orion finished the last bit of tying on a single Irish chain, He wiped his brow and said, "Wow, you really got to love somebody when you make them a quilt." So why don't you make someone you love a quilt?